It is extremely easy to make money in trading if you know the draw on liquidity, and one way to do that is by having equal lows or equal highs. As you can see right here, we have clear equal lows. Now this is my favorite draw on liquidity because I know if we have equal lows and then we have my inversion fair value gap set up, that there is a very high chance that I make money in the market. As you can see, we have this big 1 minute bullish fair value gap that is about to get inversed. Now all I mean by inversed is the fair value gap being disrespected and closed below. Now most ICT traders would look to long from bullish fair value gaps, but I only short from bullish fair value gaps because I use the inversion model method. Now my stop loss goes back above this bullish fair value gap. My take profit will be this clear draw on liquidity, which is these equal lows, and as you can see by the price action, my take profit gets smashed. Now this draw on liquidity right here is one of the best draw of liquidities that you can find when it comes to day trading, and you might be a bit confused wondering why is this candle right here the best draw of liquidity. And if you look closely, look at the time, it is created at 10 AM. Now at 10 AM today there was news, therefore this high was created from news. Now once a high is left behind from news and it did not get swept, it is an extremely strong draw on liquidity, and this is our target if we was to catch a long position. As you can see, I did end up entering a trade yesterday, so I inversed this fair value gap right here. As you can see, this fair value gap got inversed, so I entered into a long position here. My stop loss was right there if we got a candle close back below that fair value gap, and then my target was obviously these data highs right here, the news highs that was created from news. And as you can see, price is drawn straight to this liquidity, and then after it is taken, it just ends up chopping around for a bit. The reason why a lot of traders are unprofitable is because they are not using higher time frame narrative and higher time frame bias. As you can see right here, if we are just looking at this chart on the small time frame, it looks like we are just going down. A lot of traders will see this as a trend down and be only looking for shorts. But if we go to the 15-minute time frame, as you can see, we are respecting this big 15-minute bullish fair value gap. So if we drop back to the 1 minute, as you can see on the 1 minute, we have now swept sell side liquidity. We have created a bearish fair value gap. Now my entry into this trade would be if we get an inverse. That means if we disrespect and close above this fair value gap, I will look for long positions. So as you can see, we sweep more liquidity to the sell side. We now inverse this fair value gap, which means I enter into a long position. My stop loss goes back below this fair value gap, and then my take profit is just buy side liquidity right here, and this is a nice 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio. I have over an 80% win rate live trading on Discord every single day, and this is what somebody said in my chat. They couldn't believe how good my win rate was, and as you can see, I caught another winning trade today. So we have this bearish fair value gap. As well as this bearish fair value gap being created, we have a strong draw on liquidity, which is all-time highs. So simply, I do not short from bearish fair value gaps. I wait for them to be disrespected and inversed. As you can see right now, this bearish fair value gap is currently being respected as a bearish fair value gap. But if we play at the price action, you will see that now this bearish fair value gap has been inversed. So I'll enter into a long position. My stop loss will be if we get a candle close back below that fair value gap, and then my take profit will be these all-time highs. Now this is my 80% win rate day trading model that I trade live every single day. Stop using liquidity and stop using fair value gaps incorrectly. They are the only two things that you need to be a profitable trader in the markets. We have just swept sell side liquidity, and as well as sweeping sell side liquidity, we have also created a bearish fair value gap. Now, as you know, most ICT traders are used to shorting from bearish fair value gaps as they are being respected. But what I do is I wait for the fair value gaps to be disrespected, and I use bearish fair value gaps to go long from. Right here, this fair value gap has now been disrespected. Therefore, I will enter into a long position, my stop loss will be a candle close back below this fair value gap, and then my take profit will be these equal highs right here because they are an extremely strong draw on liquidity. Now this is exactly what I mean by you only need two things to be profitable in the market, and that is fair value gap and liquidity. I trade this live every single day in my Discord. If you want to join, the link is in my bio. The highest probability buys will happen in the market when bearish fair value gaps are created. Now, you might be very confused what I mean by that. As you can see right here, we have this bearish fair value gap. We have swept sell side liquidity to the left. Most ICT traders would look to short from bearish fair value gaps because we have got this market structure shift here. We have now created a bearish fair value gap. So ICT traders could possibly be looking to go short here if the fair value gap is respected. But what I mean by I look for longs from bearish fair value gaps, if we see right now this bearish fair value gap is currently being respected, okay, but if we play at the price action, this bearish fair value gap has now been disrespected. Therefore, I know that there is a high chance that we take out some sort of buy side liquidity. So I enter into the market, I put my stop loss as a candle close back below this bearish fair value gap. Now, my target will be buy side liquidity right here, which is a very strong draw as we have equal highs. And then I simply let the price action play out. This is the model that I trade every single day live on Discord. It has over an 80% win rate. If you want to watch me trade this live, the link is in my bio.